Hey, what's up, guys? Emo Cat Dad here, hanging out with you, bringing you yet another edition of Emo Cat Dad Listens. If you're new here, then first off, thank you so much for stopping by and checking out this video. What it is I do on Emo Cat Dad Listens is every day of 2024, I vow to check out a new band or artist. Check out 4 songs from across their discography, give you my initial thoughts on the songs, give you my ranking of the songs, and then, of course, give you my overall thoughts on the artist based on what I just heard. Today's artist, as you can see right there, is All That Remains. So going in, I had heard one All That Remains song, probably from like their last album cycle, which was 2018. The lead singer was on a podcast, and I've actually seen a couple interviews with him, but on this one particular podcast, they did play a song. I remember thinking it was okay. It was like radio, rock, metal, which nothing wrong with that. I enjoy some of it for what it is. But it didn't really give me that urge to like need to go out and check out the band. But this was suggested to me a little while ago. I'm finally getting around to it because All That Remains just released their first song in 6 years. So I knew I had to check that out for that reason. So I guess now's the best time to just dig in and see what All That Remains is all about. So the first track I'm going to check out is called This Calling off their 2006 album, The Fall of Ideals. Okay, so the chorus on this track rules. I wish we got more cleans on it because I think that's really what I enjoyed was the lead singer's clean vocals, which I'm assuming is also Phil. But you guys let me know in the comments if I am wrong and they have a clean vocalist. But yeah, I wish there was more cleans. Maybe like the bridge, you can mix in the cleans a little bit more. Because as on this chorus, it was just all uncleans. The uncleans were good. I don't have anything against them. I just wish we got a little more variety, that's all. As far as musically goes, I would say the drums lead the song, which it was a little surprising for me. I expected it to be guitar-driven, but it was definitely drums-driven, despite a couple guitar solos that were fine, I guess. Alright, I followed up This Calling with the 2008 album, Overcome, and I checked out 2 Weeks, which is their most streamed song on Spotify. Okay, so we get a lot more cleans on this track. I guess this is a perfect example of be careful what you wish for. Because I wish for more cleans on the last track, and although they do provide that on this track, it's a different style vocally, and I just don't enjoy it nearly as much. We still get some of the clean singing that I got on This Calling, but it's not nearly as much as I would have hoped. The rest of this is kind of like that, I don't know, like 2004 rock aesthetic. I just did not enjoy it nearly as much. And there was also a guitar solo on this track, so I guess guitar solos are just a regular thing. This one was a little too manic for me, and it went on way too long. If you guys are new here, I don't like long intros, don't like long outros, don't like long musical breaks in between. A good 20-second guitar solo is all you need. I'll even let you go up to 30 if it's decent. Alright, next up, off 2012 album, A War You Cannot Win, I checked out the track What If I Was Nothing. Okay, so this is a different sound. This is like a mid-tempo, anthemic rock song. And honestly, I dig it. This track is once again all cleans like the last one, so maybe All That Remains has just gotten away from the screams. I don't really remember that that track I listened to in 2018. I thought there were screams, but maybe it was just one little section, or maybe I'm misremembering. This track, surprise, surprise, has a guitar solo, but I actually feel like it fit the track pretty well. So, like, this one gets a thumbs up for me. Alright, and finally, the moment you've all been waiting for. I listened to All That Remains' new single, Divine. Naturally, after just saying maybe the screaming is a thing of the past, the song literally starts with like a super guttural scream. Those types of screams do pop up here and there. I don't generally enjoy them, and I would say that's probably the case on this track as well. But we do get some of the classic All That Remains screams as well, so like I'm willing to look past those gutturals because, you know, It was like seeing an old friend, those All That Remains screams after 2 tracks of not hearing them. And it seems like the band actually somehow took my notes on this calling, because yeah, they mix in the cleans a lot more in this track where it's still scream heavy, and yeah, it just worked so much better on this track, probably as a result. Alright, so those are 4 tracks I checked out. Let's go ahead and rank them. At number 1, I'll give it to What If I Was Nothing. I Like Me, some mid-tempo bangers, All That Remains provided, an A tier 1 here. Honestly, it was close because I feel like this song doesn't best exemplify what All That Remains is, but ultimately, it's the one I enjoyed the most. That's why it goes in number 1 spot. At number 2, we're going that new stuff, Divine. If someone wanted to know what All That Remains is actually about, this is probably the song I would actually point them in the direction of. It took an already strong song like This Calling and improved on it tenfold with what I personally enjoy. So I appreciate that, All That Remains. Thank you for making this song specifically for me, or so I assume. Speaking of This Calling, that's at number 3. Still, overall, really dug this song. My only criticism was, I wanted to hear cleans more. And then we got 2 songs of nothing but cleans. And I'm glad they could take me back to 2006. Which, of course, puts at number 4, 2 Weeks. This one was probably the one I had the most criticisms of, so it shouldn't be any surprise. None of them were major criticisms, I would call it. I don't think this track is unlistable by any stretch. It was just I expected one thing, and although they kind of delivered what I wanted, the expectation of what it would sound like wasn't met. And this was, of course, my least favorite guitar solo out of these tracks, so that played a role as well. Alright, so what are my overall thoughts on All That Remains out? I've checked out these 4 tracks. I think musically, they're solid. They didn't really do anything on these songs that I was blown away by. The drumming was impressive, especially on This Calling and Divine, but it was very kind of like, let's go as fast as we possibly can, which I've heard a bunch. That's what a lot of drummers are now doing, so it kind of takes away from that. Maybe back in 2006 they were early to that sound, but since I just got around to listening to them 18 years later, I've heard it a bunch. Lyrically, I'm kind of in the same boat. They're not bad lyrically, but they're not outstanding. I didn't hear one lyric and think, oh my god, what a great line. So really, it's vocally where this band shines. Phil's screams and cleans are generally pretty solid. Obviously, 2 Weeks I was a little disappointed with the vocal style that he put on that. However, he does fine-tune it on later tracks. It's still the same style, but he gets better at it. The gutturals on the new track wasn't a fan of, but they amounted to a random word here and there, so I'm not going to let that get in my way. But overall, vocals, I think, is where All That Remains stands out the most. Alright guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me. I'm your friendly neighborhood Emo Cat Dad. I appreciate you making it to the end of this video. Like I said, All That Remains was a suggestion from one of you viewers, so please keep those suggestions coming. Leave them in the comments below. Give me bands or artists you think I absolutely need to check out, and I will hopefully get to them on a future episode. Also, give me your thoughts on All That Remains in the comments. Are you digging the new track Divine? Or do you think it's just from a band past their prime? I personally don't, but I haven't dug into All That Remains' full discography, so let's have a conversation in the comments. Last and certainly but not least, I hope you're going to come back and check out my future videos, see when I get to your suggestion. And the best way of doing that is if you simply cut my wrist and hit subscribe. Emo Cat Dad signing off for now, but until tomorrow, I want to hear you sad.